The full House of Representatives will vote whether to impeach the 45th president of the United States. If the articles pass, President Trump would become just the third president in U.S. history to be impeached.
The president is facing two charges, abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. It's all but certain both those articles will pass through the Democratic-held House.
Yeah, potential defections, sure, but it's happening. All reports indicate that if all goes normally today, Donald Trump will be impeached by the evening. Holy moly. This comes after Trump sent a desperate letter described by even neutral corporate media as, quote, rambling, calling the proceedings, among other things, unprecedented and unconstitutional, abuses of power, and a, quote, spiteful and election nullification scheme. But Representative Jamie Raskin, who's a really good progressive, he made a devastating point earlier this morning that completely undercuts that notion when he was speaking in the House Rules Committee meeting.
We are not criminal prosecutors prosecuting a criminal defendant in court to send to jail. That's not what we're doing. We're members of Congress who are working to protect the country against a president who's committing high crimes and misdemeanors, that is, constitutional offenses against the people of the country. Now, lots of the conduct that we plead in our specific articles alleging abuse of power and obstruction of Congress themselves could become part of criminal indictments later on. But it's been a curious thing for me to hear our colleagues across the aisle repeatedly make this point and kind of spread this confusion that there are not crimes in there, when they were the very first ones to be saying and continue to say the Department of Justice cannot prosecute the president. The president may not be indicted. The president may not be prosecuted while he's in office. That's the position they take. They then cannot turn around and say, oh, and you can't impeach him because you haven't charged him with any crimes and prosecuted him and indicted him. You see, heads I win, tails you lose is the essence of that argument.
Yeah, you can't have it both ways. Republicans, if you want to take this to the courts, by all means, let us open up this process. Because I happen to know, as the rest of the world does, I don't have any inside information, but, the Southern District of New York, they're cooking up a variety of charges in a legal way, investigating Trump's financial dealings outside of the presidency, the Stormy Daniels stuff, campaign things. He can be prosecuted for that. So, yeah, we could take you up on that. But really, the fact remains, one of the charges Trump is facing is abuse of power. And these Republicans are really, with a straight face, trying to say that leveraging United States aid to investigate a political opponent is not an abuse of power. In fact, yes, that's what they're trying to say. It blows my mind. This is why people hate politicians. And Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, has said this is all a political process and that, he won't do anything about it in the Senate naturally. And in the process, he did make a pretty shocking admission.
What is your message to Americans who might have concerns about your ability to be an impartial juror, given your comments that you are coordinating with the White House, you're working closely with them? What is your message?
I'm not an impartial juror. This is a political process. There's not anything judicial about it. Impeachment is a political decision. The House made a partisan political decision to impeach. I would anticipate we will have a largely partisan outcome in the Senate.
I am not an impartial juror. That's his quote. Well, at least you're saying it outright. And again, if you're worried that this is a political decision, let's take it to the courts, just like Representative Raskin said. You can't have it both ways, but arguing logic with these guys is just pointless. But what is going to go down today? Here's just a general overview. After 6 hours of floor debate and likely some procedural wrangling, both articles are expected to pass in the late afternoon or evening with the support of nearly every Democrat and few, if any, Republicans. They will not, however, remove the president from office. Rather, a trial in the Senate is coming next in January, and that chamber is overwhelmingly likely to acquit Trump, leaving him in power. And for everyone that's saying either, well, one, this is such small potatoes compared to his putting children in cages, them dying there, the drone strikes, the war crimes. Yes, I agree with you, but he still did this. And this is what's this is the frustrating thing that the corporate Democrats can get behind, right? And he did this. It's illegal. And we can hold him accountable on this. So why throw the baby out with the bathwater? But, it seems like this is an argument that some on the left are having, and I completely disagree. And two, the other argument that I hear is that it's not worth it if the Senate won't do anything. Look, we have got to get these guys on record. They're mostly guys. Trump is going to go down as one of the most dangerous president in the history of this country. Not the one who's killed the most, not the one who started the most wars, the most illegal wars. That's, Bush is up there for that. But the most dangerous, the most potential for danger, the closest to a fascist. We do need the Republican senators to put their names in the history books, and additionally have them spooked in their purple districts when it comes to 2020, because then maybe McConnell doesn't have as significant of a hold of the Senate as he thinks he does.